Spain. Spain are the champions of the world at the moment. I believe it's is it the second or third? Spain are the second or third country to for the men and women side to win a World Cup.
Just Germany.
Germany,
and
okay.
Spain.
So a huge accomplishment. Obviously, we'll go through all the storylines. Obviously, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to Spain winning this World Cup because a lot of people didn't want them to win. Maybe even some of the players didn't want to win. So it's a very confusing kind of story, but we'll kind of break down as much as we can, and we'll try to focus on what does England do now? I mean, because outside of just having us kind of make fun of them a little bit.
Here's the thing. England should be proud of their performance.
Sure.
They possibly have the best side they've ever had for their women. They are formidable. They played their game. They just weren't all there today. Errors were made. They were exploited. Some of the show-out players for this tournament, Lucy Bronze, had an error that ended up being converted into a goal for Spain.
Wow, yeah. What was she? She was just like, "Yo, I'm taking this. I'm going.
Leroy Jenkins.
I'm going hoop to hoop. I'm gonna take this myself." And that decision led to her not being in position to defend, and Olga Carmona ends up scoring.
Carmona was on fire today. There were a lot of players that I kind of expected to see, like that Hemp Paredes matchup today, where they kind of did battle.
I thought Hemp was great.
Gonna be, she's always going to be a force. She's a great footballer. Although I did especially appreciate that Carmona literally sat her down around 90th minute. She literally just shook her and she collapsed. And I was like, oh, I'm going to pretend like that's never happened to me before. But I felt the embarrassment where you're kind of like locked in and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, okay, she's just going to go around me and dribble. But Spain's hold-up play is remarkable. They have such patience and it's just so composed. That, at one point we watched them kind of just pivot into their own little rondo. Which,
well, even, with that, regardless of how much England pressed, Spain were always able to.
That's the thing. And also, you can't assume. So, Sarina Weigmann is one of the world's best football managers. All in. She's brilliant. She's able to pivot. She knows how to sort of be amenable. Oops, sorry, I'm going to just break all the table. I'm breaking the glass tables. No.
You're supposed to break the glass ceiling, not the table.
Damn it. That's what's holding me back.
Sorry I have to mansplain this to you, Christine, but you're doing it. You're doing womaning wrong.
Unfortunate. Anyway. I'll do better, I promise. Promise. God, that's embarrassing. No, but Sarina is known to be able to pivot and be able to change on the fly, and her squads as well. They trust her so much. You saw the second half that she switched to 4-3-3. That you had Lauren James come on. It was a tale of two halves for them, but I still think that they did brilliantly for what they had. They just play a wildly different game from Spain, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and more than anything, I think I thought England played a great game. I mean, Sarina Weigmann after the game, she said basically like Spain were just a little bit better than we were, and I think that's exactly well put. Was it Hemp that hit the crossbar in the shot? I forgot who took the shot.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And look, if that goes in,
and that was very early.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it was a very open game for what it was. Right, and obviously you're not going to get points for possession, or that game would have gone to Spain instantly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But with that being said, it was anyone's match, and there were moments for sure, for me at least, where when Spain were out of possession, they seemed a little bit more disorganized than you would normally expect of that Spain side, and that was where I got a little shaky. Where that England are going to exploit that every chance that they can get. They kind of start running over each other. You have someone loose, and fortunately for Spain, that never came to fruition, but very evenly matched. Greenwood's injury coming off who was that, Parayuelo, which was unfortunate, coming back out with like the head bandage, which for me like harkens back to a lot of the U.S. women's national team players who have now storied careers having head injuries or bleeding from the head at some point that just kind of hammered back. So you kind of were like, hey, is that going to turn the key? Sometimes that is the little trigger point that says like, oh yeah, okay.
I thought the decision to start Salma Parayuelo over Alexia Putellas that was a big decision. And because Parayuelo has been amazing coming off the bench, and I was a little bit nervous in the second half where I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great if Parayuelo just came off the bench right now? And I'm like, oh wait, she's already there.
She's already there. Yeah. I think that a lot of that this tournament had to do with Putellas coming back from her ACL injury. But
and Putellas has not been great.
There's always been the expectation that Putellas would rise to the occasion, right? So she had an assist this tournament. She didn't have any goals. It felt very much like waiting for her to kind of turn the page. And I just don't think we saw that. So it made sense that Parayuelo managed to get the start again. Kind of expected her to be more decisive when she came off the bench, though, today, Putellas especially.
Sure. No, just a good performance. I mean, there's not much to say. When you were talking about their composure, in the second half especially, when England made the subs they needed to make, bring on a little bit of energy, Spain just they weren't really phased. There's something to there's a video going around that went viral of Alphonso Davies doing some podcast and talking about when he first got to Bayern Munich, and with the mentality that he had, he was like, I thought I had to be like Neymar. I thought I had to have like tricks and moves and have all this technical ability, and then I get to Bayern and I'm playing with like Thomas Müller. He's like, Muller has no swag, no moves. My man can barely run. He has no speed, but you can't get the ball off of him. He specifically says, Alphonso Davies is like, his first touch is what makes him completely world class. His first touch will always put the ball in the position that you're not, and the football IQ is just kind of crazy. And that's all I was thinking watching Spain. I'm like, I know they're tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired watching this game.
Yes, for sure.
There's no way they're not tired.
England were definitely gassed too. You could see there's no way that you're chasing Spain around for 90 plus minutes and being like, I feel good. That was a nice warm-up. Especially when you look at a player like Parayuelo, who's also a 400-meter Olympic hurdler.
Right.
Okay? The 400-meter is one of the hardest races to run. I know that was my event. Okay, like it's a full-out sprint.
There's a lot of Americans listening.
Got gas.
Right.
Okay, and she only recently pivoted to full-time footballer, so
right.
she's got that like more than one dog in her.
400 meters. There's a lot of Americans listening and watching. What is that? What is that like? From here to the air conditioner or what?
That's not even gonna be a 55 indoor, Christian. You know what? We'll work on our metric system.
Okay,
in the office.
Ever since the U.S. Sweden millimeter, I'm like, all right, why are you doing this to us? You're introducing our education system.
What's the conversion? You're holding up fingers. Listen, I saw some tweets this World Cup with people trying to convert what we refer to in America as military time.
Right.
And half of the world cackling at us. And I'm I can't get it. I get it, okay?
Yeah, it's strange. Like sometimes whenever I go to England and I'm like on the tube or whatever, and then you just like glance at other people's phones.
On the tube wearing your jumper going to your flat.
Okay. Relatable enough, okay? But you look at other people's phones and you see it says like 1518 or something, and you're like, all right, is your phone defective? Why? You look over like, something's wrong with your time. Why are you my
15 o'clock was a while ago, bro.
Nah, bro.
It's 15 o'clock. I was supposed to be there at 17 o'clock. I don't know what time is that.
So, okay, we do things a little bit differently out here because, the American education system is just a little flawed.
I know some people that just do the military time on their phones, just like in the United States. I'm like, that's a total hardo move.
Yeah, bro.
What do you do? You're doing too much, bro.
You know that they work for some sort of like healthcare service.
Lockheed Martin.
Cops. Yeah, they're not civilians.
War profiteers.
Put it that way.
That's who I'm hanging out with.